We started this project as a part of our social class and schooling course with Professor Adam Howard. The initial goal of this project was to improve social class inclusion at Colby. With this in mind, we decided to give low-income students the opportunity to voice their experiences and needs. We distributed a survey around campus and received responses from students of all backgrounds. From our survey participants, we identified 12 students with different social class, race, and gender identities to interview individually. These interviews reveal a deeper story about social class and belonging at Colby. Colby as an institution promotes the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. However, the lived experiences of low-income students at Colby indicate that these values are not in practice. Our participants reported experiences with underrepresentation of lower-class students, inequity in access to resources, and exclusion within the campus community and the institution itself. Based on the interviews of our participants, we have identified 4 main themes in relation to social class inclusion at Colby. 1, cost of living at Colby. 2, effective communication about resources. 3, social strain. And 4, current resources. Cost of living at Colby. These are the recurring expenses that Colby students are responsible for, including textbooks, laundry, and transportation.
Even when students get full financial aid for tuition and the comprehensive fee, there's still a lot of other cost barriers to attending Colby. So I think of students who have to take a plane to get here, or maybe international students who receive financial aid. They might not be able to afford to go home for all of the breaks. So that's unfortunate because it doesn't necessarily impact their academic experience directly, but it might impact their mental health or their comfort here at school. Something that directly impacts academic performance, I would say, is the ability to afford textbooks and computers. For someone who is a low-income student, you have to buy textbooks every semester. And depending on what department you're taking classes in, those textbooks can be really expensive.
I feel like a huge barrier is the cost of laundry. And, everybody gripes about the cost of laundry, even non-low-income students. But that's $4 a week that I have to, set aside that I could be using for groceries or for hygiene products and things like that.
Effective communication about resources. There is a lack of effective communication about what resources are available to students and how to go about accessing them. Additionally, the process of accessing resources is stressful and marginalizing for students.
There are resources here. The question is it comfortable to take them? Are you creating a system where you have to perform your poverty in order to take advantage of the school's immense wealth?
Resources are great and all, but I believe it's just the initial, you have to reach out to us. That's one of the biggest issues.
I feel like having to go through so many people to ask for money is a bit dehumanizing. Sometimes you don't want to talk about how poor you are, and you don't want to talk to an adult who's making $300,000, because then it's kind of they're judge, jury, and executioner on deciding if you deserve that money.
Social strain. Low-income students have difficulty relating to their affluent peers and struggle to find spaces where they belong at Colby.
You can see this major gap between people who identify as low income and then people who identify as high income. The good majority of the campus is high income or upper middle class, and because of that, it tends to be the dominating culture within campus. And so when you think about what makes Colby Colby, it's a lot of skiing and going out and a lot of other things that require you to have a lot of disposable income. And because of that, even though people who identify as low income have their own set of community, and they still feel isolated and ostracized because of the fact that high income people make up the dominant culture on campus.
It's become very apparent that social class still decides a lot of relationships, in the way that a lot of people want to kind of engage in spending money in order to form connections with each other or to do things with each other.
Current resources. These are the resources at Colby that are working for the students effectively.
would like to say that the Colby Mutual Aid has made it better for me to attend here, as they've been helping me with textbooks and all of my costs, and I pretty much don't know what I would have done without them.
I think something that Colby has done well and should expand upon is Davis Connects funding for internships and various programming.
The Pew Center is obviously a really big help socially because it gives you a sense, that real sense of belonging, that real like relief of like, oh, this can be a place where I can belong.
Our participants' social and academic experiences here at Colby have varied person to person. Their overall sense of belonging has been influenced by their social life on campus and their ability to find those around them who they can connect with. However, economic barriers can negatively impact one's experience greatly, especially on such a predominantly wealthy campus.
I think the key thing for belonging isn't just like being a part of the community, but being very well integrated into that community. Like, it's one thing for low income students to like be here at Colby representing a low income population across the nation, but it's another thing for those low income students to be a part of the Colby community actively help transform it and kind of lead where it goes in the future.
Our participants had a number of insightful suggestions about how their needs could be better met at Colby.
Like if Colby really wants to make low income students and students who hold marginalized identities feel welcome on this campus, providing them the resources that they need to be successful, both in the classroom and on campus, is really important to building that sense of belonging, I think.
And so either by the school creating a fund, like helping us get these textbooks, helping us find a way to like get them for a cheaper price, or even just encouraging professors to look at the cost of the syllabus and see what they can throw out, see what they can, scan on the little document scanner and just give us handouts for.
There definitely needs to be some sort of way of like getting interaction between social groups, like college-sponsored programming. But I think the other thing that Colby could do is just increase the overall number of low-income students on campus.
I feel like with the way that the mutual aid fund works, it's like so much more comfortable because everything is done through like a Google form. And so creating something like that would definitely make it more comfortable, at least.
If Colby is actually committed to creating an equitable and inclusive environment for students from all walks of life, then Colby needs to take action to address the issues raised by the participants in this project, who represent the different groups on campus. It is time to bridge the gap between low-income Colby students and their affluent counterparts to form one cohesive community.